All right, let's go over ACEs training so that way we can stay consistent at home. We want to make sure we reward the behaviors that we want to see. For example, following our commands, we can make sure we reinforce that with either praise, petting, or treats. Then we want to make sure we follow through with our training equipment whenever he does things that we don't want to see, such as not following our commands. So let's go over his training equipment. This is his prong collar. We attach the leash to the D-ring that swivels, and how we use this, it's just a pop and release motion. How we take it on and off is you just stabilize one of the prongs, push the other one through like so, and to put it back together, you'll just pinch and push through the link. And how we use this, let's just go over the heel command. Heel just means walk next to me on a nice loose leash. Say he starts to pull ahead or go to the side, we're just going to say no, verbally marking that incorrect behavior that we don't want to see. Give him a pop, then remind him that he's in that heel. Whenever he gets back into the heel where we want him, we want to make sure we praise and give him treats to make sure we reinforce that behavior that we want to see. Let's go over his remote. On the collar, there's a red dot, and on the remote, there's the same red dot. You touch these together, the green light will show up. That means it's on, charged, and ready to go. With the remote, there's an on and off button on the back. We'll just press and hold until the screen lights up. Level 25 will show up on the screen. This is ACE's level, and then today we're going to focus on the black S button. Say he's in that heel, and he's starting to pull ahead. We're just going to say no, verbally marking the incorrect behavior that we don't want to see. Push the button, no, button, heel, no, button, heel. And then, of course, whenever he gets back into the position where we want him, we can give him the verbal praise and treats to let him know that he is doing a good job. And then with these, you can either use both of these or you can use one depending on the level of distraction that he has going on. So now that we've gone over the heel, let's go over the other commands. Whenever we approach a door, we're going to have him sit. Sit means stay as implied. This is good for door manners. So whenever we approach that door, we'll have him sit. As you're opening the door, you can remind him that sit command, so that way he doesn't think that he can just bolt through the door, and that at home the rules are the same as the training facility. So then once the door is open, you can either give him the release word free. Free means he's just not in any set command and he can go and walk and sniff about freely. Or you can also heel through the door with him. Say he doesn't sit or he keeps getting up, we want to make sure we follow through with our training equipment. This way he sits on the first time that we ask and not the 7th time that we ask. Now that we've gone on to the sit, let's move on to the down. Down just means lie down, and the stay is also implied with the down. So once he is in that down, whenever we reward, we want to make sure we reward low to the ground, so that way he knows that the lower he is to the ground, that is where the reward is going to come from. We'll have a little distraction. Whenever a distraction is going on, you can remind him that down. We don't want to, you can say stay, but instead of having him learn another word, you just remind him down so that he knows what command he is in. And whenever he's doing a good job, we can remind him good down, so that way we're giving him that verbal praise and reminding him what position that he is in. With the down, we do not release from a distance. We make sure that we go back to him and release him. That way, whenever we walk 10 feet away, he doesn't think that we're going to release him. It makes that down stay much stronger. Let's move on to place. Place is just a boundary stay, so as long as all 4 feet are on the boundary, such as a bed, he is good. He can lay down, roll over, sit, stand, just whatever he wants, as long as all 4 feet are on that boundary. And with the place command, we make sure we don't release from a distance as well as the down. That way he doesn't think that we're going to release him whenever we walk 10 feet away. With the place, we make sure we reward on the bed. This way he thinks that the bed is where the positive zone is, and he knows that that is where he's going to get his treats. Place is a good command for whenever the babies start crawling. So he is still in the room with them and experiencing it, but he's not all over them or getting in their way or jumping on them. Or when guests come over, he can be on place, so that way they can get in the door and he's not jumping all over them being crazy. He has his own set place for his mind to be calm. Then let's move on to leave it. Leave it just means don't grab that. Whenever you have something drop on the floor, you're just going to say leave it. If he does, that's great. If not, we're going to make sure that we follow through with our training equipment. Whenever he does leave it, we can give him rewards and praise. Whenever we first do this in the house, you want to make sure you have a leash on him. That way we can correct him or move him around so that we can make sure that we are giving him the right indications and he doesn't get confused. And then we have come when called. With this, we want to make sure that he is in a distracted state, because whenever we need him to come back to us, he's not going to be in a sit waiting for us to give him our next command. So we'll give him that free term, let him sniff about, get distracted. Then when we call him to us, we're going to say it in a loud, firm tone, say come. As he's coming to us, we want to make sure we praise and reward or praise him as he comes to us, and back up to invite him into our space. And when he gets into our space, have him sit and then give him the reward. This keeps him from getting the reward and just running off. So after he gets in that sit, you can give him the release word free and have him go about his business again. So that is all of Ace's commands. And then now we are going to show you all of his commands. So stay consistent and have fun. Down. Good. Down. Down. Good. Down. Down. Good. Down. Down. Good boy. Good. Down. Good. Down. Good. Down. Good. Down. 3. Good boy. All right, let's go over the other features of the remote. Now that you know how to turn it on, let's go ahead and go over how to turn it off. To turn off the collar, you just touch those 2 red dots together again. Turn it back on, you just touch them together. To turn off the remote, the on and off button on the back, push and hold until the screen goes blank. And then to turn it back on, you're just going to push and hold again. All right, now that we've gone over the black S button, let's go over the red S button. His level right now is 25. That red S button jumps it to 45. This is a boost feature, so whenever he gets really distracted or his adrenaline is super high, say he's chasing a squirrel or a car, that red S button is going to match his adrenaline. So say his level is right here, usually throughout the day, but whenever he's chasing that squirrel, his adrenaline's up. We need a way to communicate with him whenever he has that high distraction or adrenaline. So with that, this is going to be emergencies only. Say he's chasing that squirrel, you're just going to say no, click that button, and have him come back to you. So that is for emergency cases only. On the other side, we have a T. T is vibrate. We use this to make sure that the collar is on. So this way we're not putting a dead collar on Ace and then like wondering why he's not paying attention to us or responding to what we're saying. You can also use the vibrate for whenever he's further on in his training and you notice that he doesn't really need the stimulation, but he just needs a little bit more of a reminder. You can hit that T, but I wouldn't do that for at least 2 to 3 months at home, so that way he knows the boundaries at home. And then with the on and off button on the back of the remote, you can click this. This turns on a flashlight for Ace. You click it twice, turns on the flashlight. If you just click it once, it flashes the light. And then we have on the back of the remote the M and C button. This just means momentary and continuous. Right now it is on momentary, so no matter how long I hold the button, it is only going to go off for a second. We used continuous at the beginning of training at a very low level to introduce the collar. You will not have to worry about this button. Then you know his level is 25. Say you notice that it's too much or he's doing good and you just like, he only needs a little bit. You can change that. You're just going to push the dial down until the 1D at the top flashes, and then you can pick whatever level you want. Say you're like, oh, 15 will be great. We can move it down to 15. But right now 25 is working for him. So how you lock it is you'll turn it to whatever level you want, push and hold the dial until that 1D stops flashing. Then you have it set, and then that is the black S buttons. And then they have, these are both rechargeable. They last for about 2 days, so 12 to 14 hour days. Here's the charging port for the collar. We recommend that you charge it every other day. You just put it on the charger. It doesn't take long to charge, so charge it at night while he's not wearing it. And then there is a charger in the box for them. It is waterproof, but so if it gets wet, it's no big deal. Just dry off his neck and make sure that the prongs are making good contact and not irritating his skin from it being wet and rubbing. In the box, there is extra prongs for his collar. I have these short ones on, but if you notice that it's not making good connection with his neck, you can always change it over. It has a tool. You just twist it off and then put the other ones on. Underneath the box, there's instructions for all of the features of the remote. So if you have any questions or you forget how to do something, you can always look at that. And then there's also a 2-year warranty on the remote. You just contact the company that's on the back of the box. They will get in touch with you and hopefully get everything sorted out. So I think that is all of the extra features of the remote. So have fun and stay consistent.